How's it guys, and welcome to another modding guide. This time it's for Grand Theft Auto 4, the complete edition. This guide should help you with other versions, and it'll help you through the process of modding GTA 4 and installing ENB as well as Reshade, so it all works together nice and cleanly. As usual, I'll be going nice and slow and taking it step by step for all the newbies out there that haven't modded the game before or haven't modded any game before. And all links will be in the video description below. This modding guide is also based on my modding showcase, but don't worry, this modding guide will help you mod the game the way you want to, with whatever mod that you want. So let's get started. So what you will need is OpenIV. You'll also need Icenhancer 3.0 Natural, the GTA 4 Downgrader, very important, the ENB series. We're just going to need one file from this. And we're going to need the Upscaled Niko mod, higher resolution vehicles, Grand Theft Auto 4 2K graphics mod. Now, we'll get into this. There's a warning with this one, but we'll get to that when we get to it. And 2K trees, as well as Reshade. What you will also need is a fresh and clean install of GTA 4 Complete Edition. Locate where you've installed your game. I've installed it to Games Installed, Grand Theft Auto 4, the Complete Edition. So the first thing we're going to do is downgrade this to 1.4. So we'll just move this over here for a second. So if we head to the downgrader link, the downgrader is over here. This is the recent version. Here's a mirrored link in case this one doesn't work for you. What you will also need is .NET Framework 4.8. Don't worry, everyone should have this already installed, and if you're unsure, then just download it and install it again. It's not going to hurt your computer in any way, shape or form. And also optional is an internet connection. So if you don't have that, then you can download this as well as the downgrader by using Magic. So let's just download the downgrader. Okay, once you've downloaded the downgrader, just go into the zip. You'll see the files like this. We're going to extract this anywhere on your computer except for your install folder of GTA 4. So I've just got my XXX games. This is just where I keep all my mods for the different games. So we'll go into GTA 4 and we'll make a new folder. So we'll right click, new folder, and I'll just call it downgrader. You can call it whatever you want. And we'll go into that and we'll just right click, copy, and then in your folder you created, right click and paste. So from here, all we're going to do is go to the downgrader.exe, this one over here. You should run it as administrator. So to do that, you just right click and go to run as admin. Once the downgrader launches, it will look like this, and we'll click next. And then it'll ask you for your GTA directory or the executable. Don't worry about this, since if you're a newbie, you won't know which executable to use. So we'll just go to the folder. The directory just means folder. And we'll go to where we've installed the game. So mine is F drive, games installed, Grand Theft Auto 4 Complete Edition, and it's over here, right? So we'll just click select folder, and you'll see it says the valid directory. If you choose the incorrect folder, so we'll choose another game or something like that. Let's just go to Batman, we'll go to select folder. It will say the GTA 4 exe was not found. So it will tell you if you're in the right place or not. So we'll go back here and go select folder, valid directory, we'll click next. It's analyzing the directory. This thing is saying that there's some mods in here, but don't worry, yours shouldn't have any warning, but if it does, just click next and give it a go. So just like mine says, there's kind of not a match, but we'll just click next. And now we're going to choose what version do we want to downgrade it to. We are going to choose 1.04.0. So the reason for that is 1.4 is the one where ENB works 100% on it. ENB also works for 1.7, but not all the effects. And I think 1.8 doesn't work. I can't remember really. But this is the one that we're going to use, and this is the one that I use for the showcase. So we're going to click on that and we'll click next. And now here's a whole bunch of mods that you can also install along with the downgrade, and we are going to choose all of it. you can go through this and have a look and see which one do you want. We'll say select all and we'll go next. You can make a backup of the games or the files that it wants to change. I advise to do so. So after you've made your choice, we'll click downgrade and this thing should run. So you might get an issue like this, but don't worry about this. This thing is fine. Just click OK and click OK again and let it run. Okay, once everything's done, everything should look green like this, and we'll click next. And this is the save file downgrader. I've never used this. I don't think you need to use this, but if you want to, have a read and then click next on it. We'll skip this for now, and we'll choose the recommended command line. We'll go next, and we'll say there is already a command line. Do you want to override it? We'll say yes, and that's it. It's been downgraded. So now we can just play GTA. So let's just exit this for now, and we'll go to the install folder. So the install folder has changed a bit, right? So there's a couple of new folders and new files and things like that. What we're also going to do, we're no longer going to use GTA 4.exe to run the game. We're going to launch it with play GTA 4.exe. So it's this file that we will create a shortcut on your desktop or on your taskbar. So we'll just, and you should run it as well with Run Administrator. You see that little administration icon is there already, so you can just double click. And let's just check that the downgrade worked and the game runs fine. Okay, we're in the game and the game runs fine. And this is on the patch 1.04. So we can exit this now. The next step is we have to install the ENB file. So once you're on this page, we'll go down here to this icon here. So it's not even this text over here, just over here, the arrow. We'll click on this and it will say insecure, but don't worry, we'll keep it. This is a false positive. Say keep. And if we go into the folder, all we want from this is, if we go into wrapper version, all we want is the d3d9.dll. So this is the ENB and this is your install folder. So we're just going to right click, copy, and we're going to go into the install folder and right click here as well and paste. Where's the file? I'm choosing that. Okay, paste. Once that file's in, we're ready to go to the next step. And now the next step would be to install OpenIV. So I've got a video already on how to install OpenIV. I'm just going to cut that out. I think it was from how to mod GTA 5. So I'm just going to cut that section out, which is exactly the same. So we're just going to play that video and I'll get back to you once that portion of the video is completed. First thing we're going to do is install OpenIV. So we'll just hit on the exe for OpenIV, click English or Russian if you're Russian, and just go through the install steps. Okay, now that OpenIV has been installed, we can finally get to modding the game proper. The first thing we're going to install is the Icenhancer 3.0 Natural. So we'll just go to File and download this. Now once you're in the zip of the mod, you will see a README there. This will go through everything and explain different parts of the mod and the optional files. So I will just explain some of them. What you will first need is the main files. So you'll see there for patch 1.4. And there's also main files for patch 1.7 and 1.8 and EFLC. So we're going to use the main files, but there's also optional files. So this is for improvements, miscellaneous, visual effects. If you go into it, you'll see the blur and the depth of field. So it'll explain different things. Most of them are just readmes with links to the mods for it, like disable lens flare. This actually has the file itself. So, and it will explain how to install it. We'll go through some of them, but for now, let's just install why does it do that? The main files. So we're just going to go into the main files, select all of them, right click, copy, go to your install folder, and we're just going to right click. I'll just right click on the empty spot. Make this a little bit bigger so I can something like this. Okay, there. And we just right click and we click paste. And it'll ask you, should you replace certain files? You'll say yes. Okay, so now the mod has been installed. Now there are optional files. If we go into them, if we go to improvements, there's alternate water shader, which is highly recommended. The blood textures, vehicle textures, we're gonna skip this one and we're gonna do the one that I've got in the link. It's the same one, but I think this is like an older version. We'll go to the improved lights. There's the map detail as well as reflective glass on bus stops. So if we go to the water shader, so to install the water shader, we'll just go to files and this common folder. We're just going to, you see as a common folder here as well. So we're just going to replace. So we're just going to click and drag this over. Don't click and drag it into a folder. Click and drag it into an empty spot over here. It'll ask you, do you want to replace the files? It'll say replace. And we'll continue with the next one, the HD blood. We'll go over here. We'll go into files. And these two files we need to replace. If you go to the README, it'll explain where to replace it, the PC textures. So let's just go to PC, textures, and we'll just copy and click and drag over, or copy and replace, like that. Next, we'll skip vehicle textures for now, and we'll just go to improved lights. Okay, so this is the first time we got an installer for OpenIV. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back out one, and we're going to copy this, and we're going to extract it out of the zip. Remember, we're still working in the zip of Icenhancer 3.0. So we're just gonna go here. We'll right click again, folder. Let's just call this mods again. You can call it again whatever you want. And we're going to rename this as Better Lights, or just give it the name of the mod itself. And we'll just go to paste it there. Okay, so this is the improved lights. So now we can open up our OpenIV. Click open. This should pop up like this. We'll go to Grand Theft Auto 4 and we'll click on this Windows over here. Next thing we're going to do is, because we're going to leave this open for now as well, so we're not going to close it. We'll just go to edit mode. You'll get a warning that says any changes will be saved automatically. So you won't get a warning that says, are you sure you want to replace a file? So just be aware of that. We'll click yes. Next, we're going to go to this little button over here with the blue, red, and green blocks, and we'll click on it once. A window should open up, and now it's asking you what do you want to install. So we'll go to that mods folder we just created, that Better Lights, Improved Lights, and we'll click on this installer, improvedlights.oiv, right? We click on this once, and we click open. You'll see the installer then kick in. And we'll just click here. You can read this for additional information. We'll click install. Here's the next button to say confirm installation that you want to do this. We'll say yes, and it'll start installing it. Once it's been installed, you'll get this page. We'll just click close for now because we're going to install other things. So that's how you install improved lights and any mod that uses this installer .oiv file, right? The next type of mod that you also need to learn how to do is actually where you have to manually do it, right? So there isn't an install folder. There's just like these loose files. If you go to it, like these type of WPL files that you can either replace in the game's install folder, or it's actually within another wrapped up file. For these type of files, any mod will give you an explanation of how to do it and the path usually. So over here it will say like this one, how to install this. If you have to open up your IV and go to PC Data Maps Jersey and NJ Liberty Image, right? So we'll do that. We'll put this over here and we'll go to PC You'll see the PC over there. We'll go to data. We'll go to maps. We go to Jersey. And then you'll see NJ Liberty, right? So it's this one. And you'll see it's an image file. But this is not what we're replacing. We're replacing the files within this image file. So if you just click on it once, you'll see it load up over here. And what we want to do is add. So this thing isn't replacing anything. It seems like it. It says just add the WPL file into this folder, right? So if we go to this file and we go into there, it's all those files that we actually are going to be adding. Yes. So we can close that now. And just to make sure, you can actually make sure that there is no NJ Liberty. So if we go here and we see, is the NJ Liberty? No, it doesn't look like it. Oh yeah, is NJ Liberty. Okay, it's not stream. So now all we're going to do is click and drag over. But you'll see, oh, you can't drag it over. Do you know why? Do you know why? It's because we're still in the zip file of this mod itself. If you're going to go through all of the steps and there's going to be a whole lot of mods that you want to install like that, then just right click and extract all, and it'll ask you where to extract. It will always put it within the folder that it's in. We'll just say extract and have it extract everything. So much people tell me that they can't click and drag over, but it's because they're working within the zip itself and you have to extract it. There we go. So now here's the zip, right, of the mod, and here's it extracted. So we'll just we can actually just click and drag it into that mods folder, so everything is cleaner. So it's over here. We can delete this since it's all in here as well, and we'll go to optional again, and we go to improvements, we go to map details, we go to the happiness island, go to files, this one. Let's click and drag over. Oh, see, you get a plus sign now. So we click and drag, and if we have a look, it's here at the bottom, okay? It might just go here somewhere. It's just, this is where all the WPL files are. That's WDD, WBN, and so on. So that's now been installed. We can go to the middle park, central park. If you go to the README, it says we go to the Manhattan. So we're just going, so instead of Jersey, we're going to go to Manhattan for Manhattan, and Manhattan 6. So this one over here, you can also click and drag this a little bit so you can read it better. Number 6. So here's Manhattan. We go to files, Manhattan. Just copy all of these over. And the final one is Outlook Park. This one is same PC, data, maps, East, Brook S3. Okay. So East, Brook S3 over here. And we'll just copy it over or click and drag it over. So we just added files, right? But if you're replacing files like, you know, any of these files, it's also not going to give you a warning. It's just going to replace it. So keep that in mind. There's the reflective glass. This one says go to PC, data, maps, props, roadside. So we'll go to PC, maps, props, roadside, and replace everything. So if we go in here, so this thing, you see, since it's replacing this, you can either do it through OpenIV like this, right? What you could also do is you could have an original file. This is how you back up your originals. You'll take this sign that we're just going to replace, you click and you drag it into originals, and you'll see this is the original that comes from the game itself. Now you can easily just either replace it over here, or you can go into your game install folder itself and go into the different files, since you're replacing the entire image. So you're not going into the image itself, because in the image itself is other files, and sometimes you need to use OpenIV for that because you're not replacing this entire thing. You're replacing one file, which is the WFT file, just this one in particular. But since we're replacing everything, we can just do it like this. So let's just replace the entire thing, and there it replaced it. It was so fast you couldn't even see. And those are the different ways of replacing and modding this game with whatever mod that you want to use. If you go to miscellaneous, you will see there's a snow patch for it, there's a command line, there's old version, there's Reshade that you can also install. I've got my own Reshade, which I think is a little bit better than this one, but it's up to you. So you're gonna have to have a read through and see. For the visual options, there's disable lens flare, graphic quality options for patch 4, high, medium. This mod uses the high, so that is the default one. You get your night brightness settings, so this is where you can decide on your brightness. So he gives examples, so you can see there that's -50% default night brightness, and +50%, and -50 default, and +50. If you're going to use my Reshade, then we're going to use the -50 patch 1.4. We're just going to copy this to the game's install folder, right click and paste, and we're going to replace this. It's exactly the same. The only thing difference is that the night brightness is now -50%. Since my Reshade brightens everything up, so we need to decrease the brightness of night. The vehicle headlights is also a good one to have a look at. Here you can see there's a cold version, there's the default, and the home version. I prefer the cold version, so that's what I installed. So if we go to patch 4, we go to cold. This is a visual.dat, right? The readme says just go to the common and data and replace the file, right? So you can either just do it here, since you're replacing the entire file, common.data, and then just go to cold, and we'll right click over that and we click replace. And don't forget, make backups of these if you're not sure. Or you can do the same thing over here. So if you just go to common, which is right there on top, data, click on it, go and look for visual. So if you just click once and click V on your keyboard, it should go down to where visual things are. Here's visual settings.dat. It's the same file, right? So you're either going through OpenIV or you're going manually into the folder itself. So after you've done all the optional files that you would like, you can also go down to recommended and fixes and improvements. So there's vehicle packs, there's grass height fix. So read through all of these and go through them and see what you like and what you don't like. Script mods, so to improve the thunder of the game. Simple traffic loader, which is what I also recommend. So there's a variety of cars on the road and not just taxis, as well as textures. So there's HD roads and things like that. Vegetation. Have a look and see what you like. After that's done, the next is installing the Upscaled Niko. So we'll just go down to files, manually download this one, click slow download. So to install this, again, you can use either OpenIV or you can just go to game install folder, go to PC, models, CD images, and here you'll see playerped.rpf, playerped.rpf. So we're just going to replace this, make a backup of this if you like. You're going to click and drag over and replace. So the next mod that I just have to give a warning for is the 4K 2K ALLAGGA graphics mod. Many people say that the third part of the map, so towards the end game, that the game breaks and it gets very glitchy and things like that, and it's all down to this mod. I haven't really experienced this issue, but I have to warn you that if there is an issue like that, it's probably this mod, and then you'll have to revert back to the original. But if you want to install this, there's only one file, and once you're in the zip, just go to go within the folder, and this PC folder, all you have to do is right click and copy it over into your install directory like this. and have it replace everything. So there's only 5 files that has to replace, so you can just make a backup of those files before you do this. So if you go just to find where it is, just go to PC, there's data, CD images, there's one over there. In maps, east, there's those 3 files. And models, CD images. Since it replaced player ped, what we shall do is we'll just go back to the Niko version, because it replaced the Niko version and we want the Niko version. So this is how you can combine the 2 different mods. We'll go back to the Niko mod over there, and we're just going to go into PC, models, CD images, and we'll put our version of the Niko mod that we want and replace. So now you have the 2K map as well as the Niko upscaled mod. Next is your 2K trees. This has no issue, so we'll just download this. And it says where to install it as well. PC, data, maps, props, vegetation. So all we need to do is go into the zip and just install those into PC, data, maps, props, vegetation. We're just replacing those 2 files. Replace. So there's a whole whack of mods that you can install, right? And you don't have to install it all at once. You can do any of these mods in any order, as well as the next step, which is reshade. But go and look for your mods that you want to do and just install it, and also make sure that the game is running after each mod. But now we're going to go to the next step, and that's to install Reshade. So we'll go to Reshade and we'll click download. We'll take it down to the bottom here and we'll download Reshade.6.0.1. I've kept all my reshades over here. So there's one catch though. This game is a DirectX 9 game. And if you go to the install folder, you will see that the ENB is already using the D3D9.DLL that Reshade is going to use. So to get around this so that the ENB as well as Reshade can work together, we're going to click on this, or actually we'll just right click on this file and we'll go to rename. We'll go to the end, we'll leave everything the way it is and we'll just make a backup. So we'll just add in a period, so it's dot, and we'll make it BAK for backup. Sometimes it asks you want to rename it and replace the file. You will say yes. Sometimes it just adds like that. Now we can go and open up Reshade. This will come up. We'll go to browse and go to where the game is installed, and we go to the complete edition, and we're gonna choose display GTA 4.exe, not the other ones, because that's not what we're using. So we'll go to open, we'll click next, we'll choose DirectX 9, we'll say next, we'll uncheck all and then check all, since we want all the effects, since we don't know what effects I'm using in my preset. We'll click next and have it install. Once everything has been installed, you'll come to this page and you'll click finish. So if you go to the game install folder, you'll see new folders being created like reshade.shaders, as well as a couple of other stuff, as well as a new D3D9 from Reshade. But we're going to rename this, so we'll just right click on this file and we'll click rename and we'll call it Reshade.dll. Right? So once that's done, we are going to go into the ENB series.ini file. We'll just open it up here, or I'm going to use Notepad++, but you can just open it up with Notepad. And we're going to go to proxy, which is right on top. And you can see here, this thing will be true, false, and it should be already reshade, but if it's not, then you change this thing to reshade, right? And then you will click save. We'll close that out. And once that's done, we'll go back to our D3 D9.dll file that we've made a backup of. And now we'll just delete the back as well as that final dot. Click enter. And it'll say, do you want to change the extension again? You say yes. And now the ENB should be reverted back to how it was working, as well as Reshade should be working as well. To test that, we'll go into GTA and see if it's running. As you can see, Reshade just popped up over there, as well as ENB in the middle like that. So everything is running and everything is fine. So you just wait for a little bit. Once the Reshade is fully loaded, you'll see it stay on top, because we'll have to hit the home key on your keyboard. As you can see there in the top right, it says press home key. Home key is the key that's just above the end key, and delete and page up and that little section of your keyboard. And we'll hit the home key and we'll go skip tutorial. Don't worry about these. I'm not using any of these effects. This is normal, it's an old game. So now that everything is done, we can install my preset for Reshade. The next step is to install my preset. So there are 4 different versions. There's the one with depth of field, one with depth of field with no sharpen, no depth of field with sharpen, and no depth of field, no sharpen. So you just click and drag it over to where the game's exe is, the play GTA 4.exe, and that's it for Reshade. You've installed it. So let's just go into the game and load it up. Okay, once you're in game, and you can open up your Reshade with the home key. Then all you need to do is go to this bar over here, this top bar, and go down to the preset that you want. We'll choose the depth of field one, and it's already looking great. So we'll click select and let it load, and there you go. So this is my depth of field. This is the one with the depth of field. The one, there's other ones obviously, even in case you don't want the depth of field. And this game isn't fully modded. I haven't modded the cars fully. I've used the Icenhancer's cars, but there's another version that I like. That's all these links will be again in the description below, as well as the trees and the roads I haven't upgraded or modded. So that I'll leave up to you. But so far, that's the end of this modding guide. I hope you've learned something today, and if you liked what you see here and you want to see more like this, then hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. Anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers. Happy modding.